welcome to the second review of the evening. Up this time is Aldred Knight, or Aldred Knight of Honor. I'm not sure if that's a regional thing or what, but this game has two names. Two rather similar names.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
I mean, the point is that Aldred is an honorable knight, but other than that,
Anyway, Aldred Knight, a classic adventure of sword and magic in a 2D platform game. In Aldred Knight, you are the most powerful swordsman of the Divine Flame, passing through innumerable obstacles and war bosses to rid the kingdom of a great evil. To progress in the game, you need to be careful. Each monster must be faced in a different way. Switching weapons and spells can help you a lot. The amount of obstacles increases at each level, so it is imperative that you get some potions and upgrades on the merchants. Each level contains objects to destroy, pieces to collect, and people to rescue. If you are a player who likes challenges, you will find many achievements in this 2D adventure game. Of course, we got the Switch version, so achievements may be harder to come by. Anyway, over to the Galax for the details.
So yeah, from what it says, this is a fairly generic platformer thingy. You do get the spells, and you gain a golden form that's invincible and does double damage that you can use for a brief amount of time. There are upgrades that you can purchase once you get to a certain point, but mostly you're going through a stage, doing platforming challenges and killing enemy challenges. Which the controls are a little bit clunky, which is somewhat it's intentional. I imagine that when you're in melee, you'll have to dodge counterattacks and stuff instead of just hammering away or whatever, because you start out with 3 hit points. Yeah, I don't know if you ever actually do anything with this guy's quest. You have to save. Each level that I've seen at least has 4 things to do. Usually, at least, it's been destroy 3 evil guy Gugor totems or whatever, and save 1 villager. Some of them also have chests that have fragments of a thing in them, or have spells in them. You also have 3 magic points when you first get your spells. Again, once you get to places where there are shops, you can theoretically buy more of those, but they cost 1,000 gold, which you don't get quickly. Mid-air slashing is also valuable. I didn't get far enough to unlock any additional weapons or more than the first spell because, to come to the second problem, the platforming challenges. This game has some pretty demanding platforming challenges, and what this game does not have is particularly precise jumping controls. It's a little bit stiff, which is not optimal when you only have 3 hit points and you're trying to do a platforming thing with a lot of spikes. So, I don't know. Apparently this game is actually pretty lengthy, which is good. And I believe it's pretty inexpensive from what I saw.
Very expensive. It's very inexpensive, but we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah. So, if you're into, there's a lot to explore here. If you can handle the imprecision of jumping controls, and also you can't. Sometimes you'll have to jump up or down to a thing. Well, specifically jump down usually to a thing that either you haven't seen or you haven't seen for a while. So you might forget that there are spikes there. But yeah, there's things like where you're riding a moving platform and you have to jump and double jump over saw blades that are on the track and stuff. And I, for the life of me, could not get past that area without getting hit, and you don't have a lot of time on your invincibility power, so I don't think there's a cost to it, but it doesn't refill until you get to the end of the level, unless you buy a golden potion, which is at the shop. There are 3 kinds of potions. There's health potions, mana potions, and golden potions, and all of those come in small, which costs 50 gold and fills 1 pip, and large, which costs 75 gold and fills at least 3 pips. But again, that's kind of expensive. Also, I don't like how when you save someone, they run through a door and then you never see them again. And I feel like they're not doing enough with that, you know? But overall, the only actual complaint I have is that the controls are kind of stiff, which, again, was enough to keep me from being able to get past, like, the, 6th or so stage after a few hours of playing it. And again, this is not a complex game, so I don't know, maybe I'm just bad at budgeting my golden power. Overall, I mean, the story is basic. It's mostly an excuse. You're the knight who needs to defeat the evil overlord, as far as I could tell. The variety of enemies is actually pretty good. The games do keep introducing new gimmicks. Yeah, you can't kill the face spewy fire thingies. Or if you can, it requires a weapon that you don't have at this level in the game. I believe you can finish the stages without getting all of the totems or saving the person, and then come back and do it again later. But I never did that. See, that's the thing. You only have 3 hits, and you only have 3 spell charges. It's not very forgiving, and then the controls are already... The stiffness can make itself an issue, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have any questions?
Not really.
I think
Like-
I'm good.
Yeah.
And the music was okay, but I only really ran into like 1 or 2 tracks, so yeah, overall, I think this game had a decent amount of potential, but the stiffness, like, the difficulty doesn't feel earned all the time. Sometimes it feels like it's just you're fighting the controls. And it would be nice if your 3-hit or whatever standing combo had like 1 hit that hits a little bit above or below you instead of just being the same hit 3 times. Because the mid-air attack is different, and when you were in golden mode, your standing attack becomes more like the mid-air attack, where it hits above you a bit. Also, there have been a couple of times where I was not... I was usually made some assumptions and was not wrong about them in these cases, but there are some things where there are hazards that are not like the spinning axe blades that were a little bit earlier. The fact that you can pass through the shafts of those isn't always amazingly telegraphed. Oh. Overall, I kind of wanted to like it a little bit more than I did. I think there's a lot of neat ideas here, but it would be much improved if the controls were more fluid.
Mm.
And it's particularly since most of the actual challenge, even given that there are enemies that can kill you pretty easily, most of the actual challenge feels like it comes from the platforming.
Good. All right.
Pennyfan, do you have anything to add?
Not really.
All right.
Do you agree about the controls? Or?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, aside from that, it's actually pretty good, but that's a pretty big aside from that.
In terms of pricing, yeah, this is $1.99 on Steam and $2 on the Switch. So I'm assuming that's console-wide pricing.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's at that price. It's worth checking out if you think the idea is neat. Certainly, again, there seem to be many levels to this, and I'm kind of hoping that eventually you get weapons that have more interesting areas of hit. But again, there were a couple of platforming challenges I just couldn't get past pretty early on. So
All right, then. So that'll about do it for the game with two names here. Anyway, so be sure to tune in after the break as Petty Fan will be reviewing Spooky Chase.